As a life coach, if I was coming to you for the first time, what would be your 3 points that you would kind of guide me with? Do you have any kind of like bullet points that you would tell people to kind of do that would maybe make their life slightly better in the intro?
Well, it's funny because I would never tell a client what to do because the only person who knows what's right for a client is themselves. But I generally would start, like I don't have a process that I work with clients. Like every client will be telling me what their challenges are, and I will ask the questions that I think help them to explore it more or to potentially see things from a different perspective, because we all come to life with a lens on based on our past experience. And actually, like there's lots of different options that are available. We just don't see them because that's the lens that we've got.
Yeah.
And quite often we discount our opportunities and we discount our own abilities. But I have amassed a kind of list of questions which I use as a kind of springboard to start conversations with clients. And what those are really exploring is people's values. You know, what is fundamentally important to them? What's the stuff that really interests them? What's the things that they get so engrossed in that they forget to eat and they forget to go to the loo? Now, that question alone is probably a question that could only be written by somebody who has ADHD, you know, but with now looking at that, I wrote those questions years ago. But so that is where we would kind of start is, you know, trying to, you know, these are not difficult questions. They're just not questions that really we ever ask in our culture. You know, we don't really do deep questions very much, which is probably why I love being here, because these are, you know, deeper questions. But areas that are often discussed would be strengths, habits. You know, I think the whole Atomic Habits is I think one
amazing.
of the best books. You know, it's a phenomenal book. And I think that the whole concept that Dave Brailsford from the Sky cycling team, you know, that get 1% better every day accounts for a lot in the long run. I think that is a really brilliant premise, because I think a lot of what we do is we tend to go, 1st of January, I'll write a New Year's resolution. This year I'll run a marathon. And then, you know, like week 2 and we've barely got off the couch. And we're, you know, whereas actually, if we actually make the things that we're working towards smaller and we just keep pushing the goal out slightly further, that's a far more motivating way to do it. So habits are spoken about a lot. Working practices are also as a common area, because, you know, often we just get into the habit of working in certain ways and actually stepping back and saying, well, is that really the most productive way? You know, just because you've always had email, for example, is a perfect topic. You know, I think we live in this world now where people think we should be like able to be contacted straight away and everybody wants an immediate answer. Well, you know, this is a scary thought, but I lived in a world before email existed. I can still remember the day when I came into the office and Greg Johnson, the man who ruined my life with email back in the day, sorry, Greg, you know, we functioned without email. You know, people phoned you up, you answered them. Whereas there's this, like now we're supposed to respond to everything immediately. Everything's a priority. Well, everything can't be a priority. But actually by making everything a priority, we actually can't see what is actually a priority and what is actually really important.